to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jessy Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
That's right, John Taman, right, sitting right here. I'm tired of trying to let it fade out. Oh my God, look at you, Scotty.
I lost a bet, but
Hang on. All right, now what now?
I lost a bet, and I wear this daft hat, as my wife kindly pointed out to me. So, because I lost a bet, you win, Karen. Duval, as they say.
Duval.
Take that shit off. Anyway.
Duval.
Duval, well, it's Duval. This is a daft hat wearer from the Jolly UK saying Duval.
And I don't know what kind of bets you guys have over there, but if I lost the bet to my wife, boy, I tell you what, I wouldn't be on a camera on Friday night. Yeah,
I've been sore for a week, John. Anyway.
Oh, the big comeback win made your wife very happy. All right, so I am John Taman, like the thing said right there, and I am your happy host for the next couple of minutes. Over here to my right is my dour friend, Jessy Martin. How are you, sir? Always
doing good.
Grumpy as ever.
Did you know a priest in Johannesburg, South Africa, claimed to have performed a miracle, and they made a show of it, of a resurrection?
Really?
So, yeah.
No, I didn't know that. Now, you got to give me some details. You can't just drop that.
That's all the details I got. I saw it on Twitter. So
really? A television show of a resurrection. Honest to God, it should be real. You know? that sounds
and there's the crowd. The crowd is, I'm gonna retweet it. The crowd is, I mean, there's looks like thousands of people in the crowd. It's a funny ass video. So I just retweeted it. Y'all should watch it.
All right, yeah, I will have to take a look at that and find out when this TV show is on, because I'll tell you what, every once in a while, and I'm going to sound awful and terrible, and for all of you people that are in Central Africa that are listening to us right now, I do apologize up front.
We do have listeners there.
I'm not kidding. I don't doubt it. But look, sometimes you read about these things where you got a whole town that's like terrified of a person. They think it's a witch, or and it's like, okay, so how do you talk to people who can just as soon quickly turn around and say, oh, no, I don't know what kind of numbers you're talking about. You sound like you're possessed, and actually believe it. So I don't know what to do with those kinds of things over there, but I'd like to see this TV show. Scott, what do you think about people getting resurrected in South Africa?
I absolutely have no comment on it whatsoever. As you can tell, I was in the Big M Boss book.
As always, we are right on track.
That's right. Hey, man, you know what? People really, I don't think, listen to us for our football acumen. I'm just going to go out on a limb there and say that. But
I thought we were never meant to talk about politics or religion, and Jesse started us off good.
Look, some guy claiming to resurrect somebody down in South Africa. That can go above and beyond. That's allowed. That's for sure. Especially if, George Santos is involved, because we all know he is Jesus Christ. All right, that's enough of that nonsense.
Anyway,
I would figure that we could start off the day talking a little bit about whatever Commanders news there was this week, which really wasn't much other than they're searching for an offensive coordinator. And I tell you what, I've been rather impressed with the candidates that they've put up, especially in the last couple of days, because Ken Sampisi, he's the obvious choice, and some of these other retread guys that you see, or older names in the league. But today they come up with a couple of them. There's the Dolphins running game and assistant coach. They come up with this tight ends coach and assistant coach from the Rams. This tells me they're looking to innovate a little bit.
Sure. And I want to go back. People kind of poo-pooed Pat Shurmur.
Poo-pooing on Pat. That's a television show that I like.
But the fact of the matter is he's actually been a pretty daggone decent offensive coordinator. He hasn't been a good coach,
right?
But
happens a lot.
He's gotten two head coaching jobs, but he's gotten those jobs for being a good offensive coordinator. So I would not, just slam the brakes on Pat Shurmur. I don't think I wouldn't be too upset at that. Ron's stuck in a hard place right now by with the level of talent that would want to come here. Could this be Ron's last year? Who knows? But there is one name, and we'll talk about him in a minute, that not a whole lot of people's talking about, that could be very, very interesting.
Well, I don't see any time like the present, but
Okay, let's talk about it now.
Eric, Jesse with the tease all the time.
Eric Bieniemy. Okay, for the past few years,
I'm not down on
okay.
that.
Well, just hear me out here.
I will.
The past few years, you've always heard his name coming up in the coaching carousel cycles.
Mm-hmm.
And he has trouble getting interviews, but Andy Reid has been pushing him. The problem with Eric Bieniemy and the reason why he hasn't got a head coaching job is because he's not a play caller. He hasn't been able to call plays because Andy Reid calls plays. Now, he's been with Andy Reid for a very, very long time. What could be very interesting is this scenario right here. Eric Bieniemy gets a shot at calling plays this year. I would not hate that at all.
He's running out of time.
Next year,
Head coach.
Upstairs. That is and Benjamin Albright. I don't know if you guys.
I saw it on Doug. I saw it on Doug's
he was on Doug's show, and I really do like. He's an NFL reporter.
Mm-hmm.
I think he works for the NFL Network, or used to. And he had heard his name, and so that's starting to kind of dig up stuff, that scenario. And remember, Ron Rivera and Andy Reid are very close.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, let's face it. If you're within the United States, you're relatively close to Andy Reid anyway.
What's interesting with that, though, Jesse, is I watched an interview earlier on when Eric Bieniemy was first being mentioned for the OC job in the week after Scott Turner's firing, and there was an interview with him there, and he said they talked about it specifically. Does he call plays? And Andy Reid said, yeah, he does call plays. So I don't know what is actually happening there, whether he does or he doesn't, but it came from the horse's mouth. I'll try and dig it out where the interview was.
But just watch every game. Andy Reid's right there fucking calling the plays.
Yeah, I can see it. He's got it in front of him.
Remember, Doug Peterson came out when he was hired by the Eagles and said, Andy Reid had been letting him call plays. A lot of times Andy Reid will do that half and half game.
Sure. And that's fine
too.
Get
us up by 30 points and then you go ahead.
But
so we really don't know how many times he's allowed Bieniemy to call plays.
Sure.
Now, Bieniemy, has it been that he has just not taken interviews or been prevented from taking interviews, or he just interviews badly?
No, Andy, I think it might be the interview process, because he's definitely had interviews, and Andy Reid has been pushing for Eric Bieniemy to be a head coach. They have been for the past few years, and this year I think this is going to be. From what I understand, this is regardless of what happens, this is going to be Eric Bieniemy's last year, because Eric Bieniemy wants to go to be a full-time play caller, so he can have that on his resume.
Right.
And now, I would welcome him with open arms here.
How about this? Let me throw a wrinkle in you. All right, Andy Reid wins the Super Bowl and retires, and Eric Bieniemy gets the Chiefs job. Now that's just a wild hair coming out of my ass, and that only happens because I'm old.
A wild ingrown hair, because I don't think Andy Reid's going anywhere.
So I got the list here of everyone.
They can get him out. That's an open stadium. They can get a hell.
I got the list of everyone we've been associated with. So we've got Atlanta QB coach Charles London, who's been interviewed. Miami assistant running back / head coach Eric Studsville, who's next week. Darrell Bevel from the Dolphins declined.
He declined.
Yeah, he's staying there.
Caldwell, Reich, Pat Shermer's been interviewed. Kem Zampese's been interviewed, and we've got this guy from the Rams coming in next week.
Todd or Tony or
Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown.
I knew it started with a T.
Yeah, and obviously we don't know about Greg Roman either. Obviously, he's just been fired.
It's an interesting name, but I like Greg Roman. I do, and I know everybody's saying that it should be a run first team. I don't necessarily think so. Greg Roman has had only one season out of the top 5 in rushing attacks on every team that he's coached, every team that he's been a coordinator for. And that was when he was with the 49ers, and he was 8th in rushing. I get it, but we got too much talent on the outside just to be a run-focused team. Now, the problem with that, though, and I understand why Ron Rivera and Mayhew came out, we want to be able to run, is the quarterback. Okay, if you have a quarterback, say we're staying with Sam Howell just for argument's sake, you want to be able to establish that run to be able to protect him until he starts learning and growing as the time goes on.
This season, it was kind of a surprise that the run had a much larger impact on the NFL than it had in the last many years because of the passing rules being juiced. But it seems to be things are leaning towards run. So I think that they
disagree
flows
with
of the NFL.
I totally disagree with you there.
Well, the numbers will back it up for this past season.
Well, I mean, you look at all of the quarterbacks and all of the teams that are in the postseason.
Sure,
they're all passing teams. Apart
John's
from
not wrong. John's not wrong what he's saying.
The only one is the 49ers that you would say were a run first team. Everyone else is a passing team, and every single one has a quarterback that's under the age of 26.
Okay,
I would say Dak is, but.
I think the problem is there's a lack of quarterbacks. Yeah, I think there's a lack of star power quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's why teams are moving towards the run right now until they can start to recoup. You don't have your Peyton Mannings no more. You don't have your you still have Tom Brady. Who the hell knows? He might be 57 before he fucking retires, but.
The way he was the other night, dude threw the ball almost 70 times the other night.
Yeah, the point remains the same. Teams are ran the ball more this season because they had to.
That's a possibility. I mean, we saw there was a lot of attrition at the quarterback position this year, more than normal.
Sure.
I think, Scott, you pointed out the number was like 100 quarterbacks or close to 100 quarterbacks that started this year.
It was 70 in total.
973 quarterbacks started.
970. It's a post-apocalyptic quarterback world. Now, for my money, the guy that I like that's intriguing to me is Studsville for two different reasons. Number one, I like Miami's attack. Okay. The coach down there, Mike McDaniel, is that his name? Yeah. He's one of those guys that's just got a wild ass offensive mind. And whether anybody was no, did he?
Yeah, no, he was in our building.
What did he do in our building? Pick up shit? Because I don't know.
He was an analyst of some description.
Okay, well then he was probably like very entry level,
early doors entry level.
Either way, you can complain that he fucked up that fourth down at the end of the game, and anybody can look at that picture of him and say he's fucking smoking pot and vaping or whatever on the sidelines, whatever. Shut up. The fact of the matter is, this guy was his running backs coach and assistant head coach and was sitting there absorbing this new, I don't want to call it new, but these modern offensive minds, not these dinosaurs that we've been dealing with. I like that. And aside from the fact that his name is fucking Studsville.
Yeah, that's cool. So I just had a check there. Mike McDaniel was offensive assistant with us from 2011 to 2012, and then he was our wide receivers coach in 2013.
That was Santana Moss, or that was Pierre Garçon,
then he went to the Browns Jackson. After that, then the Falcons as offensive assistant, then the 49ers, and now.
Well, you can't blame us for that. I mean, shit.
No, I know, but it was still the same. It was the same sort of time when we had LaFleur, Shanahan.
Right.
I think pretty much everybody under that tree right there has had a head coaching job at some point or other.
Definitely.
But that's what these coaches do, man. I mean, they go from place to place, catch on, learn, and grow. And
grow. Yeah.
I mean, I can see this going, different directions, man. I can definitely see and would be happy with a Shermer, or not necessarily ecstatic.
What about a
Shermer.
Frank Reich? Or if we're talking to older school guys, Reich and Caldwell.
The thing with Frank Reich is, I mean, I don't know how contracts work, and you can pull me up on this. Scouse pointed something out yesterday on our pod saying that Frank Reich's due $9.5 million this year.
Well, I would imagine
that's
fired.
The Colts have to pay that.
So do they still have to pay that irrespective of if he gets another job?
100%.
That might be be written into it. I mean, who knows? Because coaches aren't governed by the same.
Because he's not going to get a head coaching job somewhere, anyways.
Yeah, I didn't know
the contract's the contract. I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a case of if you catch on at another team.
Yeah, it's not like a player. Yeah, I think coaching contracts are set up different than players.
Okay.
Although the Saints are claiming that they're able to get compensation, then they want like John Gruden compensation that the Bucs gave away to get Gruden down there back in 2001.
That's because Sean Payton was
2002.
retired instead of.
That's right.
You know,
he didn't get fired.
That's
right.
That's a little bit different situation right there.
So yeah, he's still, I guess, obligated to however many years are left on the contract if he comes back. Carolina was interested in him. Frankly, I want to stay away from him. I don't want to coach. I don't want a coach that had a Hall of Fame quarterback. And whether anybody wants to say he made him or vice versa, we don't have anybody close to Drew Brees anywhere near this place. And I don't want a coach that comes in on a reputation of something like that.
We never know what's going to. We don't know what's going to happen with Hal.
You mentioned Greg Roman. How he has shown the ability, whether we like. People can bitch about his style and all that kind of stuff like that, but he's shown the ability to be able to work with young quarterbacks and work to their strengths.
Greg Roman and RG3 put a tweet out today. I don't know if y'all saw it, and it makes perfect sense, especially with the quarterbacks that he's worked with in the past and all the information that's out there. Wide receivers will not like Greg Roman. We have 2 wide receivers that could potentially one that
Pro Bowl level
one that could have potentially have been the rookie of the year if he stayed healthy all year, and a top 10
you're right.
So I want these guys to be kept happy. Okay, you need to be, because they've had receivers one and two leave. From Baltimore because of the offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every one of them. Every single one of them.
Every one of them. And no receiver would go to Baltimore because
who were they playing with last week? AJ Boye or someone?
AJ Boye was a cornerback, wasn't he?
Oh, it might be.
He was
I don't know who they're playing with.
No,
you might as well.
One of a top receiver that he's ever had was Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, man.
Michael Crabtree.
But receivers don't like his system, and I personally, I would be fine with Greg Roman. I think the running game would kick ass, but for the fact that we have 2 freaking budding stars on the outside that will not get the looks that they deserve. Sorry, man, we've been there, done that.
Well, that's another reason why Studsville intrigues me a lot, because Miami definitely used their wide receivers, and they know how to get guys that can get open.
Waddle and Hill had great seasons,
outstanding seasons, and really, I remember reading in we all play fantasy football, so in August and July when I'm doing research and everything like that, all of the warnings were that the Dolphins were going to go away from the tight end, that they weren't going to be using Gesicki like they had been using Gesicki. And I'll tell you what, Gesicki
he had a good year.
Damn straight. So yeah, this guy Studsville, he's interesting to me. And I'm interested in it for 2 reasons. Like I said, Studsville's his name. 3 reasons. His attack style, the attack of Mike McDaniel, to be able to see what we can glean from that. And 3, it shows that Ron is at least looking for something that's outside of the realm of normal that he understands.
Familiarity. His wife, Studsville's wife, and Ron's wife, I guess, they went to college together and played.
Imagine being Studsville's wife, man. You are a number, aren't you? Studsville marries horny bitch.
But look, I don't think this, I think this coaching search is going to go on. I think they're doing their due diligence, and I'm happy about that. Bring as many people in as you possibly can to get all the information that you can. Look, there is 10 offensive coordinator positions open right now. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. So you need to go through the list, and once the dominoes start falling, you need to have the information there so you can get on the horn and get the guy that you want.
That's right. I'm kind of looking forward to it, especially since Ron has basically come out and said that Sam Howell's going to be the number 1 going in Tillers next year.
Listen, right now, yes.
Right now, yes. He can change his mind.
Pretty much the only quarterback on contract right now, and I think that's going to have a lot to do with the offense.
So you're saying he's just saying the obvious? Yeah, he's going to be right now. He's our quarterback next year.
I think the offensive coordinator is going to have something to do with the quarterback as well. At least
I got to tell you, the first question I would ask is, can you work with Sam Howell? Mm-hmm. Can you do it? Because look, I know it was 1 game, but he was highly rated as a first-round talent coming in. And that 1 game, it's like I was saying to Rigo, I can't remember his name, or whatever his name is. What
Mark
not Mark? No, not Mark Tyler. The other guy, the Heineke Hive guy. He's not a hiver. He's a good guy. But
Carl. Yeah.
Carl, right. What I was saying to Carl, I can't remember now because I spent all my freaking memory trying to remember his name. Way to go, Carl.
No, I think, listen, we have something in the bag that could work. It could. But I think there's more options out at offensive coordinator and at quarterback than people are actually thinking that they are. So
I don't want to go too much because I remember what I was going to say. It was the poise that I liked.
Sure.
The accuracy.
It's interesting because I think, and we had this discussion again yesterday, thinking about it. There's going to be more quarterbacks than we think are going to be out there. The retreads that we obviously don't necessarily want to retread. If you're going to get one in, great, but let them know that they are going to come in as the backup, and that Sam Howell's going to learn behind a pro, which we all agree.
Go get you an Andy Dalton or something like that.
Yeah, someone like that. Jacoby Brissett,
somebody who's actually can play. Yeah. Somebody who knows how to win.
What if? These are the what ifs. What if the 49ers go all the way and they win the Super Bowl? Brock Purdy's going to be the starting quarterback. So what happens to Trey Lance?
Well,
what if? And here's another big what if. And what if the Bears look at the number 1 pick and think, do you know what? We're really going to take a quarterback here. Would you trade? And it probably will be 16. Would you trade 16 for Fields?
I don't think the Bears are going to be looking for a quarterback, but
it's out there.
No, they're not. I think that they would trade it to Irsay, who would love to jump up on a quarterback again.
Yeah,
you're going to have to give up. You're going to have to give up that 16 plus.
The 49ers, however, I read an article today.
Probably just because it's a quarterback.
Yeah,
man.
And you're right, and he has shown to be able to. He looks like he's legit. He's got
the 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 3, 1 and a 4, something like that.
I tell you what, Justin Fields throwing to our wide receivers is going to look a lot different than the Justin Fields that was there. And he looked pretty good while he was there. And
then you've still got Jordan Love sitting in Green Bay. What's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? No one knows what he's doing. He's doing his cryptic ayahuasca shit again. Where am I retiring? Am I not?
He's going to the mountains. He's going to start. He's going to trip for like a month straight, and then he'll be back. I think he's going to be back. I don't think he's going to be in Green Bay, but I think
does Jordan Love want to sit behind him? Because we don't.
I don't. I don't like. I tell you what. Every time I've seen Jordan Love come to a football game, I've just been underwhelmed by him. And
except for the preseason, he's looked good in preseason, but in any regular season game,
when he comes in and gets started. Now, I read an article today by Michael Silver in the San Francisco Chronicle. There you go, Mike. Big plug for you on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. But it basically says that Purdy has won the job already. That he is their number 1 quarterback going forward, no matter what. And
that's just crazy what they gave up for Trey Lance. Then,
and see what I said to I was, tweeting with him because he and I we're like this, and I made a tweet that said that's a lot of cost to just swallow like that. There's no way they're going to recoup that. And to my surprise, he answered me and basically said, "Yeah, I know it's in the article. Go read the fucking article instead of just."
He's like that.
It's behind a $1 paywall, John. Yeah,
right.
Cheers.
Well, I'll tell you a trick I managed to figure out is no, it didn't work on his site, but some of these sites, if you go ahead and put it in incognito mode, you can go ahead and look at it anyway. But it didn't work for his. However, they don't care. And that's
and no team should care if you.
Well, they should care if you win.
That's exactly. If you find your quarterback and he has to be quarterback number 2 or 3 on the depth chart, who the fuck cares what you paid for a year or 2 ago for someone else that's not nearly as good as that one?
Well, because for them, a year or 2 from now, they're still going to be looking for a pick. They gave away. But the fact of the matter is, this is a perfect definition of winning cures everything. If Purdy would have lost last week, I don't think that this would be such a done deal. But right now, it sounds like he's on the block, and I don't want him. He seems to think if you look at his Trey Lance's social media, he seems to think he's going to Tennessee, and I'm like,
I don't want anything to do with
I'm Malik Willis. No, I don't want anything.
Yeah, there was a cryptic tweet that went out from Trey Lance with like 3 cross fingers, like as if it was because they fired their OC, I think, who's been hired by Tennessee. And I think it was it was interpreted in 2 different ways. It was either a come and get me, please trade for me, or it was a I'm wishing you well, but nobody really knows what it was.
Wait a minute now, Scott. You are much more up on the gang lingo than I am. So What kind of sign was he?
I've got no idea. I mean, I'm living in a rural town. You know what I mean? It's just the only gangs we've got are pack of straight hogs. But no, we haven't got any gangs up here. I don't live in.
He's looking out the window to make sure none of them can hear him.
I was making sure.
There's a bunch of guys out there with freaking underwear over their shorts or over their pants, walking around with bowler hats on, doing this.
No, they're all on spice and meth. That's what it is. So the youth of today. Eh? Anyway, moving on.
The youth of today. All right, so we really didn't make any other moves at all this week, except to announce that we're going to interview some of these people.
Yeah, there's a little bit around a sort of bit of news that's kind of bleeding out slowly on the sale of the Commanders. There's the Willie, won't he? Willie did just sell a minority stake? Is it the whole thing? That rumor started surfacing again.
Josh Harris is in the lead. Okay, and I want to tell you guys this, and the millions of listeners that we have. I don't care if Daniel Snyder has 49% of this team,
right?
As long as
he can't make any decisions.
He can't make any decisions. It's fine. He can. He's probably, and he's going to keep 30%, whatever, going to put it into a trust for his kids later on. He's not going to have nothing to do with the decision making of this team, and I'll be perfectly fine with that.
I'll be fine with that.
And Todd Bowley's out, isn't he? He's dicking about with Chelsea at the minute.
Looks like it very well. Very well.
I had a friend of mine that was dicking around with Chelsea, and he ended up getting her pregnant, and that really turned into a whole dramatic thing.
Yeah. So he's just become the Clearwater Capital. I think it is that.
Sorry, I had it on loop. I don't know why this.
Okay. So. Clearwater Capital bought Chelsea Football Club, but he was the main shareholder, I think, and they've been trying to get themselves right. I think he's spent just over £400 million on transfer fees so far. So,
and with
he's pumping a lot in.
I do have a bit of a show bylaw that we have to address here real quick. There's, according to my thing, there's one person over there in the comments. Scott just called them the Chelsea Football Club. Now, this is an American podcast or a British podcast talking about American football. So, is Scott talking about football or soccer? You tell us.
I'm talking about football. Yeah. Well, not egg handball, as you guys know.
Egg handball. Jesus Christ. Egg handball is what you should have bet instead of that stupid hat.
Well, true. Yeah, true. You're right. And talking about bets, shall we open the embossed book, boys?
Well, I think shout out to Fanatics for opening up the first sports book in Landover, Maryland at the FedEx Field. And just a little bit, quick on Josh Harris. I would welcome him. He's a smart businessman. He does a lot with the Cal Ripken baseball. I think he owned a little piece of the Pittsburgh Steelers as well too. Owns the New Jersey Devils and also the 76ers. His ownership group, with Dan Snyder, if he keeps a piece of it, and he sells, say he sells 70% for like $5.3 billion, then he'll have money to, build this banging ass fucking stadium that we all deserve as fans to, enjoy for years to come.
Absolutely. And honestly, the fact that he owns the Devils and the 76ers would give me such pleasure because the fucking Q maniacs would go nuts over that. Don't you think? They would figure out ways that he's fucking sacrificing children at the 50-yard line. That would be fun. All right. So, okay. So I guess we're going to move on to some bets right now. We've got the divisional playoff round is coming up this weekend. Scott, let us go to the Big Embossed Book as soon as I find the music for the Big Embossed Book.
Oh, there it is. It's gone all slow. So, last week, it wasn't a very good prediction week for all of us, really. Well, Jessy Martin, 3 correct out of 6 games. 3 out of 6.
50-50.
Right, 50-50. John, also 3 out of 6. Me, I got 5 out of 6, weirdly enough. The only one I got wrong was I took Tampa Bay, and obviously we understand the other result. That we'll not mention that.
No, we won't mention that at all.
And on the bets, Jesse Martin, you put down $550, and you came back in with 827, giving you a 277 profit.
You know, that's better than I thought I would. I did. So it's all right. I made out.
You did make out. And the one that was good for you was the 49ers.
Yeah.
That was the result of the day for you there. John, you laid down 800 and you came out with 1,152. So
I like those Giants and those Jaguars.
It was the Giants, the 200 straight on the Giants that did it.
Told you they were going to win.
Well, your math is off. He only made 200 and something.
Yeah,
I like his account.
352. You're right. And then
spent it.
I put 850 down, and I came out with 1256. So
right.
I've got that as.
So you're the winner.
100.
Dude, that Chargers game really.
Unbelievable. Hence why
I went to bed. I think they were up like 17 or 22 or something like that.
It was 27-0 at one point, wasn't it?
I wake up and they lost. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Unbelievable. I mean, I went to bed at 27-0, and the fourth interception was thrown. I was laughing because, weirdly enough, my wife actually watched it with me. Has no clue on football at all.
But she picked the right hat.
But she picked the right hat, and I said, "Oh, let's just watch this. It's on the TV. Let's see how it goes." And we sat there and watched the first half. It was 2 a.m. and I was like, that's it. Ha, 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 I'm going to bed. See you later. Woke up with a poke in the face to be told, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, you are joking. And then I had to sit downstairs and watch the entire second half again. I'll
tell you what.
Yeah.
I was doing this number.
Unbelievable.
Right, because, I'm old, but I didn't go to bed. I was sitting there watching it, and I was doing this number. One eye open.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Were you asleep in your top pocket, John?
If I could sleep with one eye and watch the game with the other one. But I was watching them, and they scored, and then they scored again. And I'm looking at the clock, and there's like 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, and I'm thinking, damn, man, they got plenty of fucking time to get back in this game. If they could and by the time I went down and out, it was just about the beginning of the fourth quarter. And by the time when I woke up, I was like, shit. How the hell did Jesus Christ? They sure did.
And then fucking
big credit, man.
How could the Vikings defense be that bad and they made the playoffs, man?
Dude, flies circling around that defense.
It has to have been probably the worst defense that's ever been in the NFL playoffs.
I would agree to that, especially since I knew that was what was going to happen.
Do you think that Kurt thought it was third down?
No,
just thought, I'll just check this down.
No.
Kurt had nowhere to go, and he was hoping that possibly his tight end could make a play. I mean, Jefferson was triple covered. Freaking
he had gotten beat around a little bit in that game.
He had a good game though. He's
a tough guy, but I think he also feels the rush sometimes, and he'll hurry a throw, and that's why we see him do what he's captain check down. But we see that a lot. And I guarantee you what he was looking at was if he breaks this one guy's tackle, he's got the first down. There's nobody over there.
Yeah.
And he just didn't break the tackle. So at the same time, though, I'm not giving him any fucking leeway for that shit. Ha 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 ha, motherfucker.
And we thought we had problems. We thought we had problems at kicker kicking extra points.
I know.
Like Dallas kicker, what he missed four fucking extra points, 5 extra points.
4 or 5. I can't remember.
The Vikings kicker missed a couple extra points too.
Yeah, but Brent Mayer, he's back. He's back. He's kicking again this week. I would have fucking fired. I wouldn't have let him on the goddamn plane.
I think we should call up Jerry and find out what he has to say about that.
I think we should.
See what's going on with that there. All right, hang on a minute. Let me get the book out. Oh, that's wrong.
I think he just hung up on you, John.
Hello.
Jerry Jones is a Friday night. What are you doing answering your personal phone?
Well, God damn it, I'm going to tell you something right now. I thought you were my friend Tito, and he was supposed to be bringing over me my mezcal, and he hasn't shown up yet, and God damn it, I'm getting the shakes. So if you don't mind, let's keep this line clear rather quickly. The mezcal's going to kick in.
Just a quick question about your kicker situation. What the fuck is going on?
I'll tell you something right now over there, boys. If I knew what the hell was up with the kicker, I would make more money than I could even shake a fist at. And I've got a big fist and I've got a lot of money, but I haven't been able to figure out a kicker in my whole life because nobody knows. Look, these are people whose entire life is looking at the goddamn ground and kicking whatever's in front of them. How do you fucking reason with something like that? Jesus Christ.
They got one job. They got one job. 4 kicks, 4 extra points. I mean, it's not like they were like 50-yard field goals, Jerry. And he's still on the team. I know you're in the business of making money, but how many Brett Maher jerseys have y'all sold this year?
I don't believe we've sold a one Brett Maher jersey. As a matter of fact, I don't think I even had any of them made because I think that if anybody had ever called me up and said, I want the place kicker's jersey, I would have sent them to www.commanders.com because they got a whole bunch of them left over from last year with a whole lot of different names on them. Hey, let me ask you this. Have you boys ever seen a pink shark?
A pink shark?
Because I think there's one floating around right outside my window, and I'm telling you something. It's either a pink shark or the peyote's kicking in, and I'm going to need my tequila because otherwise the edge ain't going to come off, and old Jerry ain't going to be too goddamn happy with what happens after that.
I think it's the peyote, Jerry, and enjoy your trip. We'll talk to you after this playoff game.
I get you. Tell you something. That was a funny there. What they call them? A double entendre. See that? That's what that was. And I speak the. Hang on. There's Tito. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, Jerry never fails to disappoint.
It doesn't.
Well, wait a minute. What? That seems a little backward.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. I guess we're going to start off with the Cowboys and the 49ers.
We can.
And I'll say this right off the bat. I think that the NFL has kind of done the Cowboys a little dirty with this. Having 2 days difference between the Monday night and Saturday night game is significant.
But fuck them, man.
Yeah, I get it. Fuck them for sure. Fuck them.
Not bothered at all.
I mean, I see that.
Fuck y'all. I'll tell you something like this. Look, put in the promo code "fuck you" and get yourself a goddamn Jessy hat.
I don't know where they're 6:30 on Sunday, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, drink another one of them Miller Lights.
But they played on Monday night.
I know they're on 6:30, but they played. Okay, I thought they were Saturday.
No, they're Sunday.
Well, 6:30 Sunday. Well, that's fair then. Fuck me. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Here, I thought I had a cogent point to make, and instead of nothing.
Yeah, we got on the point that we were talking about earlier with Brock Purdy being there, quarterback of the future, that leaves a roadway to possible a Jimmy Garoppolo if the Commanders are interested. It's not the most sexiest pick in the world, but it's an option. All right, back to the game.
He's a guy that's used to getting to being the backup.
Yes,
he's a guy.
But he's played well in spots.
I mean,
he's not the most exciting, like I said, most exciting name, but he's.
I think he would want to start somewhere.
Sure.
I really do.
Yeah, that's. I'm just saying the option for a starting quarterback here and have Sam sit another year.
See, I don't want to do that. But here's the thing. I got to thinking, all right, when I was talking with, I don't know who it was, about Heineke and the fact that he's going to be a free agent. And I think that his agent would be foolish to not try to go out and get the biggest bag that he can, and probably or possibly try for a starting quarterback's job. And he said, where is he going to start? And I started to think about it. Okay, where around the league do you think there's going to be a quarterback opening?
I just don't think there's going to be many, because
not necessarily for him,
the
for
quarterback
Garoppolo.
needies. Yeah, but those, Tennessee could be a possibility.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Washington could be a possibility. Carolina could be a possibility. The Jets could be a possibility.
Yeah, what you've got to think about with Carolina and the other quarterback needy teams, they're all quite high in the draft. Yeah, so are they going to take?
But not everyone's going to get a quarterback. So there's options. There's options, and there's going to be quarterbacks. That and like to your point, earlier, Scott, I think there's going to be more options than people think this year. All right, back to the game.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about the 49ers and whatnot, and Jimmy Garoppolo. In terms, because we were also talking about the Commanders for next year. This is a whole mishmash of everything.
Yeah,
but
they got three potential starting quarterbacks on their roster.
Exactly,
if you include, Trey Lance.
Exactly, and I wouldn't be against bringing Garoppolo here if it was not a freaking. I don't want him coming here as the anointed starter. Don't go spending a ton of money that says he's got to start here. I want Hal to be the guy that goes forward and let Garoppolo show him everything he learned in New England and San Francisco. Show him, teach him, right? And if Hal falters or gets hurt, Garoppolo's a good guy to come in. So anyway, to the game.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings, Javon Kinlaw, and Samson Ibukum is all questionable, as well as Avery Thomas for the 49ers. Jaron Curse is questionable for Dallas. Mackenzie Alexander is out. And so is Jason Peters with a.
Imagine that. Jason Peters is hurt. Oh, my God.
And that's actually big because he's been starting.
Yeah,
he's been starting. So that could be big.
He's a great player. But my point is that, dude, I'll tell you what. When he was coming down to the last 5 years with the Eagles, every other play, the dude's raising his hand.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. Oh. So anyway,
so the 49ers are favored by 4.
Yeah, that's not a very large injury list.
No, the 49ers are favored by 4. The over-under is 46.5. I got to tell you, I like the Niners to win this game, and I like the Niners to cover. I think this is, and I'm going to take the over actually in this game. I think there's going to be some points scored on both sides, both Dallas and San Francisco. But what's not to like about San Francisco right now, guys?
I agree.
Earthquakes, shit like that. The fact that eventually it's going to fall into the ocean. The housing costs.
Well,
both sides of the ball.
Everywhere.
Both sides of the ball are running on all cylinders right now. You got this rookie quarterback that's took the league by storm in this playoff push for them. And Dallas, Dallas is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde right now. I think they shot their wad last week, and I think they're going down. They're going down, and I'm going to put. Yeah, I'm going to put. On San Francisco.
Say that again. I'm sorry. The audible cut it up. See,
200 on San Fran. -4.
That's one of the things about StreamYard. When you listen to the show back, it sounds fine. But yeah, to us, it just kind of cuts out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd throw that in there since you're using all your little sexual innuendos. Makes Scott's wife blush. I'm completely on board with Jesse and his entire deep throat analysis of this game. Look, I'll tell you what, I'm taking the 49ers to cover. I'm taking the over, and I'm putting $100 on each. And I'll tell you what, if there's a parlay for Christian McCaffrey to score at least one touchdown, oh fuck yeah, I'm all over.
Oh, that. I bet it's at 1.5.
Yeah,
I'll take it because that guy, he's the X factor. He's the X factor.
Yeah,
he really is. And that move, it potentially could be the move that put them into the Super Bowl and over the top this year because it's just he's playing incredible football, and every time he touches the ball, he's electric.
Yeah, I'm gonna put 50 on the over, but it's just a separate bet from
got you.
But I really like the over in this game.
Hell yeah, 46.5. Is that what you said it was?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. This game smells like 55, 60 points, man. Easy. 34-30,
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the 49ers as well. I'm just going to go straight money line, and I'm going to put 300 on it. I really don't want to touch the over-under. I think sometimes these can be tighter than we think they're going to be, but I do think it probably will end up that the Niners will win by 10, something like that, but I don't trust it enough to.
I see a touchdown.
I
see about a touchdown.
Look, the Cowboys defense has the reputation. Last week they beat up on an old man, and a team that really kind of just limped into the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. So yeah, they had a good game, but their defense is not the same defense that was taking the ball away last year and in the early part of this year. Starting around, Thanksgiving or so, their defense kind of took a nosedive.
Yeah,
and what they're just not getting to the quarterback as much as they have been. They got to travel out to San Francisco, which really I don't put too much stock into that, but the Cowboys do travel well. But it is a playoff game.
It's going to be a lively crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not home, man. And San Francisco's got all the momentum right now.
The only thing that bothers me here is we haven't seen that rookie mistake, that rookie game yet from
Purdy, Brock Purdy, right?
Yeah, we haven't.
We haven't.
It's concerning, but I think last week he showed it didn't bother him.
See,
11 straight wins.
One of the things that I saw last week was, you always have people that are trying to be contrary, and they say, he's not that good. Look at this. Look how wide open Ayuk is. Who can miss that throw? Well, it doesn't make any difference.
I give you a couple quarterbacks that were in the Burgundy and gold that fucking missed those throws.
Yes, true.
Walk out of here with that.
The fact of the matter is, who gives a shit? All he's got to do is put it down there. The bottom line is, look how wide open Brandon Ayuk is.
Yeah.
He's able to get it to him, and even though he's got to run Ayuk out of the pattern of what he thinks he's going through, I swear, I think sometimes if people watched the All 22 and saw the trajectory of the ball and how they really are not on stride, except the guy has to cut across 20 yards of field to get to the ball because that's where he's going to be the most open. So they think that everything has to go exactly the way it's drawn up on the paper, and it's not. If the guy is wide open and Purdy puts it over the wrong shoulder a little bit, he's got plenty of room to adjust, and they do.
I just think the 49ers are the most complete football team.
I agree.
They've got weapons everywhere. Their defense is fantastic.
I agree.
And they've even got a fullback. You know what I mean?
They use him
pretty
too.
Good. Juszczyk's great. Yeah, he's great. So, yeah.
Look, I'll tell you what. The Panthers, I'm talking to you. What the fuck's wrong with you trading them Christian McCaffrey? Really, seriously. What the fuck is wrong with you? Sign the NFL.
Is he not from San Francisco?
Yeah,
he is, but that's not the point. They were good enough. Holy shit, they went and got him.
I know.
All right,
all right.
Moving along, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the darlings of the NFL playoffs right now.
Put your hat on.
And
put your daft hat on.
Going into Arrowhead Stadium to taking on the big bad Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 10. This is the highest I've seen it on BetUS. I've seen it's most places is 8 or 9. I think 9 is where
that's the median.
The median is. I like Kansas City to win this game, but I'm going to take Jacksonville plus the 10. Jacksonville to cover this game.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville's been playing really good. They do. They are banged up a little bit. Of course, Brandon Sheriff, as always, questionable with admin. He'll probably be playing.
Well, I'm surprised with Brandon Sheriff. He hasn't actually had his compulsory 5 weeks off.
That's true.
Look, I tell you what, I think that more and more as we see this, it's more and more of an indictment of FedEx Field. Yeah. All right.
Listen, people got to stop talking about the field because the field's in great shape since they redid it.
I wasn't at the pre-show meeting. I didn't know we weren't allowed to talk about the field.
Listen. You just got to nip that shit right in the bud.
Snip. Oh, where's my?
It's probably like one of the, and I'm being all serious right here. It's probably one of the better grass fields in the NFL right now of how because they completely ripped it up like 5 feet deep.
Not only that, but look, I'll tell you what. And I'm just making jokes and like that because I think that the first time this Sheriff really got hurt, it was a play against Philadelphia where he was pulling, he got his knee hurt, fell down, and then the guy for the Eagles flopped right on both of his legs, and fucked his back up. So, good on him, good for him. I'm going to go ahead and take the Jaguars in the 10 points as well. I'm going to put $200 down on that because I do like them. And there's a sneaky little part of me that thinks that they could pull off the upset. I doubt it. There's a sneaky little part of me that thinks that they could pull off the upset. I would give it like a 20% chance.
What are you putting on it, Jesse?
I'm just going to put 100 on it for the cover. Okay. I don't give the Jags a chance in hell
Neither do I.
Winning this game. not a chance whatsoever.
I'm listening. It's going to be another bad week.
Look, you guys said this to me last week about the Giants, and here we are.
So can't take another week of this job.
The over-under is 53. That sounds about right.
It's a little high, I think.
I wouldn't. If anything, I'd probably go with the under, but I'm not going to mess with it. I wouldn't put any money on it.
No, but
I'm just going to take KC for the win, and I'll put 250 on that. I think they're going to win
on the money line.
big.
So you're going to get like
$1.50 back. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But to be honest with you, what one really interesting stat I read earlier was that every time this season the Chiefs have been more than a 7-point favorite in any game, they have not covered.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
It's always this year have left me cold. Unless they're against the Texans.
The Chiefs' defense can be had.
It's terrible.
Okay. And Jacksonville have learned to score points, especially
and
late
score
in
them
games.
late. Yeah,
late in games.
Lawrence, the dude's got a cannon, man, and he knows where to put it.
I see this like a 35-27 type game right here.
Well,
so, but 10 points, yeah, I'm taking the Jags to cover that all day.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags to cover. And like I said, and I'm going to say it again just so that I can record it so that I can make it sure I have it for next week in case it happens. The Jags could pull off the upset.
All right.
I got 20% chance.
The Beasts of the East, New York Giants traveling to Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts is back. We have this game, the public is putting a lot of money on New York right now. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The Eagles are going to smoke them.
What's the line?
7.5. I got Eagles plus or laying the points. Put me $200 on it.
I feel the same way, but not as strongly. Put me 100 on there. Sorry, Scotty. I know you were making you right very fast because you do things the old-fashioned way. I think that next year for the show, you should cut your hair like one of those old school friars so that you have like the balls like that. And then get you a big quill pen so that you can like write it down. You know,
the only two haircuts they know in here is a high skin fade that makes you look like a mushroom, or a Bobby Charlton, or a Bobby Charlton comb over that I'm currently sporting because I don't have a 4 head, I have a 10 head because of my receding. But
mushroom or a bell end?
Basically, yeah.
See, I have learned the lingo. Haha, Jesse.
This is both these teams are relatively healthy. One kind of big time player that's out for the Eagles is Avonte Maddox. That could cause a little bit of issues, but the Giants receiving core is pretty much one of the worst in the league. It's not. So I don't think there's really.
It's coming on. I mean, he beat us up, right? Well, Hodgins or whatever. Hodgkins is that his name?
Hodgins.
No, the tight end. The tight end.
No, the wide receiver. Hodgkins, right? Isn't he a wide receiver?
I think is it Isaiah Hodgins? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I thought he's a tight end, dude.
It might be.
I'm pretty sure.
All
right. Well, whatever.
I tell you what, the receiver who was there was pretty good. Yeah.
Had himself a touchdown again last week. So I mean, I don't think it's going to make any difference.
I think everybody in the league would have a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings because that bad.
I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm not gonna put any money on this. I'm just gonna stay away from it because weirdly enough, the Giants are starting to get hot again and play well. We've laid the blueprint for
I think people are putting too much stock into that game last week. Maybe. The Minnesota Vikings, their defense was just so bad. I mean, so bad.
You've got to say Daboll's now coach of the year, and he's surely. It's got to be a shoe-in. It's got to be a shoe-in.
I would not like to say that the Vikings defense was garbage. However, whenever they were on the field, there were seagulls flying around over top of them.
But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I mean, we laid the blueprint of how to beat Jalen Hurts and how to beat the Eagles, and I think it's going to be a steady.
Let's get clear. Let's be clear. The blueprint that we laid was 75% conversions on third down.
Correct.
45 running plays and hold the ball for something like I think like 4/5 of the game.
And listen,
But John,
the
we're
Eagles
still the only
defense.
team
That's
to
a hell of
beat
a blueprint to
Hurts.
duplicate.
The Eagles defense is really, really good. I
Yeah,
don't think they don't give enough credit. I think they're going to key in on Barkley and make Daniel Jones beat him through the air. And I don't think they just don't have enough
the
to do
receivers.
it.
No,
Yeah,
they
don't have enough to do it.
There's a
All right.
quarterback.
So I'm going to go ahead.
He's going to get franchise tag, I believe.
So Jesse, you betting on this game?
Yeah.
He's put 200 on it. He's put 200
All right,
on it.
I'm going to do the same thing. And did I say 100?
You said 100, yeah.
I said 100. I like the way the Giants are playing, but dude, the Eagles are going to come out. This is, they feel it's their year. So and they're going to come out and not only that, but the link has been a house of horrors for Daniel Jones.
Yes. So, now listen, there's one caveat here that could change things, and that's it, because Jalen Hurts hasn't played in a while. Now, if Jalen Hurts comes out flat,
like maybe 3 plays.
But yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to run it down their throat, and then the AJ Brown and the kid from Alabama, Smith. I think they're going to light them up.
They're going to eat them up, and they got that other quiz, whatever his name is, Quiz Watkins. Quiz Watkins. That dude can fly. So it looks to me like, and honestly, a 49ers Eagles NFC Championship game.
Very well. Most likely that's going to happen.
Awesome.
I think next game, this is the game of the playoffs right here.
I can't wait to see this.
Man. Yeah, this is one I'm most excited for. The Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. Bills are home. Bills Mafia is going to be fucking fired up. The Bills are also favored by 5.5. And guess what? I like the Buffalo Bills. If you haven't, if I have not broadcasted that enough throughout the season.
You already have, yeah.
No, I like the Bills, man. Listen, give credit to Cincinnati. They've kind of turned it around from early struggles this year. Their offensive line was in shambles, but they really turned it around. Burrow is going to be in, one of the faces of the leagues for years and years to come. But I think this is Buffalo's year. I like Buffalo. I like them laying the points, and I am going to put 200 on that. The over-under is 49.5. I'm actually going to take the under and put 50 on the under.
So 200, lay the points, and you're going to put 50 on the under.
I've got you.
What's really interesting with this is 3 of their starting O-linemen are out, I believe, or really banged up.
For Cincinnati.
For the Bengals,
Let's see.
They got destroyed.
Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers is also doubtful with a hamstring. Jonah Williams, the tackle, is out with a knee, and so is their guard, Alex Kappa. And listen, the Buffalo Bills are going to just tee off. And listen, there's 2 starting offensive linemen, and that Bills defensive front, they're going to feast, I believe.
Go ahead, Scott.
Jordan Phillips is questionable for the Bills, and so is Daquan Jones.
So I'm going to lay the points. I know they don't have Von Miller as a pass rusher for the Bills, but they've got a good enough pass rushing attack. And then that secondary for the Bills is just unbelievable with Milano and others there. We've seen Diggs to Allen all year, and that's not going to change. I really like their tight end in Dawson Knox. He's very, very good.
He's been coming on too.
Yeah, so I'm with you, Jesse. I really want to see this game. I'm really looking forward to this, and I think the Bills will win this quite handily. And again, I mean, I don't know how many returns the guy's got as their return man, but 2 obviously in the final week of the season. I think he's on about 4 return touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 in one game.
So he did, yeah, exactly.
Right, he was a trade from the Colts, Hines.
Yeah, Hines. Yeah.
So I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to put 100 on this for a Bills win. What about you, John?
What's the points? What are the spread? What's the spread?
5.5.
See, that's why I said go ahead, Scott, because I'm hemming and hawing on this. Because the Bengals are perfectly capable.
Oh, yeah.
They're perfectly capable. It's the offensive lineman being out that I think it really is going to swing the whole thing. I really like the fact that this game is going to happen so soon after the incident that happened on Monday Night Football because I think that they're going to get together and there's not going to be any animosity about it. I think they'll get together and they'll play a good football game just for the sake of playing football. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just to get together and play a football game.
Give you some more information before you make your pick. It is
Go
going to
ahead.
be snowing in Orchard Park.
Well, I definitely am not going to pick the Bengals because of their 3 offensive linemen being out. And that's the big key to me right there. I do think the interior defensive line of the Bills is probably going to just be in Burrow's lap all day. And as much as I think Burrow is like, again, quite capable of escaping and being able to make plays on the run, I just don't see it. And I'm going to take the Bills. I'm going to lay those points. I'm going to put $150 down on it. And I'm going to take I'm not touching the over-under. That's it. 150 on the Bills.
I'm going to put a prop bet on Stephon Diggs scoring a touchdown. And I'm going to combine that with Josh Allen scoring a rushing touchdown in a parlay. And I want to put 50 on that.
So Josh Allen rushing TD as well. And did you say 50?
He said 50.
And then I'm also going to parlay all my winning picks. Okay, all my winners into one parlay, and I'm going to put 100 on that.
So a parlay then is an accumulator, basically, is what we call an accumulator.
So I'm picking the Bills, and this is not against the spread. This is just straight up money line.
Straight up, yeah.
Bills, San Francisco, Eagles, and Chiefs.
Bills, 49ers.
You took every favorite.
I mean, that's my favorite. So, yeah, I mean, that's who I see. Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to pull an upset. If I'm all right, okay, so let's just say this, hypothetically speaking.
I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Are you putting 50 on that as well, Jesse?
Yeah.
That's
hypothetically speaking, the Jaguars have that chance, I think.
No, I think the upset that could happen is the Giants.
I think if there's any upset, it's going to be the Bengals. That's the one that I'm a little bit teetering on.
We need Keith in here to pick the Cowboys because all of them. So
the San Francisco game and the Chiefs game are those right there are the ones I'm most sure about. I think.
Yeah, I think I'm the most sure about the San Francisco game. Honestly, I think I'm the most sure about the Eagles because the Giants. Look, Dable's done a hell of a job, but I think the candle is
runs
about
over.
Yeah,
down. It's about out.
Yeah, so that's the way.
The Chiefs is the most sure I am on a pick, so we'll see. But that could be another. That could be another bad week of wearing this daft hat. But yeah,
daft hat on.
You're gonna see Scott. You're gonna see Scotty in Duval County with his wife at the Super Bowl parade.
We're gonna
no. But what's really interesting is we've got a minimum now of 3 Jags games next year, and potentially 6 Jags games.
They're going. When are they going to move over there? I mean,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
So
next week we're going to see that. When the Jags pull off that upset, we're going to see a picture of Scotty tied to his bed wearing his skivvies in that Jags daft.
Oh, just no. You do not want to see
I will order.
Bring it up.
Tell your wife to give me a call, and I'll order some Jaguar Speedos and send it.
we know they have them. Their mascot was wearing it. Right?
He was, yeah. No, in all seriousness, part of that bet was she said to me, "You've got to take me to Wembley now to watch a Jags game." So I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
Well, look, hey, at least she's getting involved. She's getting involved, and that's fun.
True. My wife, she sits down in the other room there. Once in a while, she walks out and she goes, "That's Kurt Warner," and I go, "Yep, that's Kurt Warner." And she goes, "See, I know football," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
The one and probably the only thing I liked about my ex-wife is she would sit and watch football on Sundays, even though she was a San Diego Chargers fan, but that's where she was from.
Yeah. I can say the same thing.
And she got into it too. She would get TV and cuss it out and shit like that too. So
shit, dude. One of my my wife's gonna listen to this, but one of my first dates ever with my ex-wife, like fucking almost 40 years ago, we went to a minor league hockey game. Right. And we're sitting there and something happened. I don't know. I wasn't much of a hockey fan back there. And she jumped up and ran down and was banging on the glass. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, holy shit, who is this crazy bitch?
And at that point, you should have known, John.
Yeah, you're right. I should have.
Warning signs were there,
turn around
mate.
and run. But
Yeah, the shit the sports does to us, man, it's crazy.
my wife and I play sports together. And I don't, that's not a
great.
double entendre, but we do. I mean, y'all laugh about the name of it. We play pickleball, and it's fun, it's fast, and it's a hell of a good workout.
As soon as I'm
not a
able,
massive pig.
as soon as I'm able, I'm going to try to get into a pickleball.
It's
something
fun.
or other.
It doesn't take. I mean, you don't need to be in the greatest of shape to play, and you can go right out and play. And Scott's like, really? What's that?
Well, no, they've started the National Professional Pickleball League.
Oh
right?
yeah, Tom Brady owns a team. Drew Brees owns a team. I've seen video of Gronk playing pickleball. So and
I'd probably be pretty good at it because I was pretty good at
The new
tennis.
sport of slaps.
oh, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
That's so stupid.
Honest to God,
Why?
if you're sitting
it's
there,
wild.
let's say you're an analyst for fucking professional slapping. What the hell do you have to bring? You know what you are? Here's the guy that is the color guy. Yeah, I was in this competition. I got a shit knocked out of me. Fucking, his whole side of his face is all swollen up. I was a grand champion.
The bit that got me was when you get knocked out or knocked down, you've got 30 seconds to get back up, or you don't get the chance to slap them back.
Jesus,
I was like, what? Fucking guy's got like a contusion on the side of his
Coming up
face.
next here on the Fox Network, professional butt kicking. Watch the pros with their big boots kick each other in the ass. It's the dumbest shit. But ball punching, ball slapping, whatever. People get a
Bum
life.
fighting.
Bum fights.
That's the funniest shit, though.
Do you remember the one? I can't even remember the one guy who was like the superstar of bum fights. His head looked like a turtle shell. This fucking big dude with a bald head, and they put him in an MMA ring, and he got the shit beat out of him.
Go on, Kimbo Slice.
That's him. He got the shit beat out of him.
He's dead now. He died.
I would imagine
R.I.P.
so. Really, the bum fight champions are dead. Look at the shock on my face.
Yeah, because you got a lot of money for going to the UFC and then
He went and bought himself a big speedball. Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So I take
Alrighty,
it none
boys.
of you two were the winners of the massive lottery then in the States.
Oh no. I don't play the lottery.
You wouldn't see me.
Was it
I'm
something
ahead.
like $1 billion? Was it 1.6 billion?
1.7 billion.
It was a lot.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Payout. 700 million was the payout.
I'll
took
tell
the
you.
payout and fucking bye. I would be
yeah.
like, hey, let me be an investor in the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, you'd be in the suite, wouldn't you, all day, every day?
That's right. I'd have put in a couple of dollars on that, and I would have stopped by my office and said, "Hey, man, sell me one of those jets."
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Shit. I'm ahead of the lottery game. When I was like fucking 15, I woke up one night and I saw my clock. It was 123, 123. Looked at my eye, closed my eye, went back to sleep. And for the next, I don't know, like 10 hours, everything that 123, 123, 123. I kept seeing 123, 123, 123, 123. And
we'll do that to you.
well, dude, I'll tell you what. I stood outside. I was 15. I stood outside the liquor store and I said, hey, buy me a pack of cigarettes and here, buy yourself a pack of cigarettes and buy me this lottery ticket. And the guy bought it and I hit. So
Nice.
I've played lottery probably less than 100 times in my life, and I've hit like 5.
Yeah, 500.
So I'm all right. I'm not gonna go crazy. You hit a $500 scratch?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Scratcher once, and then one time for Christmas, in stockings, we got my dad some fake lottery tickets. And
that's
yeah,
cool.
It was mean. He was so mad.
I bet.
When he won, it was like $200,000. He was like jumping up and down, and we had to sit him down. We had to sit him down and explain to him that they were fake. Oh my God, he was.
Dude, I would have written you right out of the will right then and there. That would have been it. I'd have been on the phone with the lawyer. I don't give a shit if it's Christmas. Get my goddamn will out of the fucking safe and write this. Jesse's out.
That's what it's a holiday tradition. We do. We always give each other lottery scratcher tickets. Put them in stockings and stuff like that. So one year, like, let's give them some fake ones, and it didn't go too well. It did not go too well at all. Oh man!
All right then. So good luck on the games this week. Enjoy the games. It sounds like a good slate. It really does. I wish the Commanders were playing, but they're not. So it's a good slate of games. It's potentially very good matchups. So I'm really looking forward. Honestly, that Cowboys 49ers game has the potential to really be a freaking knockdown drag out.
Good. I can't wait for the Bills and Bengals, man. I think that's going to be
tomorrow.
The other thing about the Bills, the Bills should have
Jacksonville and
they're first.
Jacksonville, Kansas City, and Cincinnati and Buffalo.
Right, and the Bills.
No. I'm wrong. I am wrong. It's the Giants and Eagles. Night. Yeah, Giants, Eagles.
Giants and Eagles tomorrow night.
Yeah, and then Sunday is Bengals, Bills, Dallas, San Fran.
So I think it's safe to say I don't know when any of the games are coming on. I just fucking guessed, and I was wrong about all of them. But the Bills have had a propensity to let teams hang around. I last week when you talk about going to sleep and all of a sudden the fucking Jaguars won the game, they were beating the shit out of the Dolphins, and all of a sudden the Dolphins came back into that game, and the second half was badass. So.
But I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Bills were my Super Bowl pick in the beginning of the year. I'm sticking to my guns.
All right, we'll stick to them. All right, then we will see you guys next Friday when we talk about the conference championship games, and I might have me a brand new truck by then.
Nice.
Nah, it's not really all that nice. My car has a problem with it where I can't fucking turn it off.
Okay.
That's a problem.
That's a bit of a problem, yeah.
I drive a Prius because I'm not really all that fucking big on. I don't give a shit.
I should have guessed you drove a Prius.
I do. Well, it's only because of necessity.
Very efficient.
It's only because of necessity, and it's old. It's like 13 years old. So I don't really...
car that I would imagine Keith driving a fucking Prius.
Hey, he's a family man. Well, see, I do because I'm not a person. I'm a utilitarian person. I couldn't give a shit about driving a Maserati.
I don't care about that.
I'd like to drive it, but I'm not going to own it. I couldn't care less. So, but now it's had this problem where I don't have any dash lights, so I don't know how much gas I have. I don't know how fast I'm going.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you got some issues there, Bubba.
But the thing that will fix all of this is like $700, and I'm like, this is a 13-year-old car. I'm not dropping into this. I'll just buy a new car. So I'm going to buy a car, and I'm going to buy a truck between here and hopefully next Friday. Probably next Saturday. Doing our research.
As long as it gets me to point A, point B, I'm good.
That's it. But for me at point B, it's got to shut off.
That's true. Yeah.
I found a trick to a way to trick the electronic system to shut it off. So I've managed
just take out the battery cable.
Well, that's what started the whole thing. The battery died because if you don't start a Prius and drive it for
because it's hybrid. It's a hybrid, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's two batteries. One's like a $3,000 massive battery, and the other one's just the one that jump starts it and makes it go. And once you got to start it every once in a while. And while my wife, everybody that listens to the show knows my wife had eye surgery. While she's had eye surgery and couldn't drive, I've been driving her car because it's just easier. So anyway, there's Life Entertainment House.
So take the keys out and it's still going.
Yeah, well, you can't take the key out. I never put the key in anyway. So, but I tried it to see if I could get it to shut the car off, and now it wouldn't give me the key back. So I had to. I drove it to I called the dealer. I'm like, okay, look, I got this. They do my maintenance. I called them up. I was like, look, the car won't shut off. I'm driving it up there, right? And he's like, oh, okay. So I drive it up there, and I get it in the service bay, and boom, it shuts right off. And I'm like, you motherfucker. It's like, your dog. Look at my dog's new trick. And he lays down and licks his balls. Right. So after that, he comes out and tells me about this problem that it's having and that the sensors won't even read it because of this thing. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'll probably buy a Tacoma, blah, 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 blah. I go outside to get in my car to drive it home. It's got dash lights. Everything's fine. I'm like, okay, fuck this shit. Stupid ass car. So anyway, I'm going to buy me a truck. Anyway, that's
until next time.
Yes, until next time.
Hopefully, John doesn't have any more car problems by next week. Later. Go to betus.com and spend some money.
Yeah, do that.
But gamble responsibly as well, though.
No, fuck all that. Just go for broke, man. Fuck it. Look, I tell you what. You can do better than your wife.
Spending the rent money on the Bengals.
Fuck it. You know what? If your wife and the kids leave you, look, they're noisy, they're loud, and she got fat. So fuck it. Throw it all on the goddamn Jaguars.
Piss it all away. Later.
Oh, wait, I got to do this. All right, now later. Hey, I'm all fucked up with this shit.